Just want to give you a little creative quickie this morning. I'm sure some of you will have thought of this already, but I'm going to put it out there anyway. A lot of you are into the Studio L2E stamps. You may be familiar with them. They are like the to-do stamps that a lot of the American girls use, and they're like 5 bullet points with lines, and they use them for to-dos and things in their file of faxes. They are really hard to get hold of here, and if you do get hold of them, they will put you over the customs charge. I already tried a ridiculous amount of postage and getting them here and everything else just for a set of stamps that, you know, it shouldn't cost that much to send a set of stamps. Anyway, for those of you who can't get hold of those or who don't want to spend the money on them, here's a little tip for you. First off, if you're in the UK, check out the Studio G stamps. They're clear acrylic stamps from Dovecraft. And you know, they come like this, and you can get them on eBay for 99p. But you know, a lot of them are very usable for planners and things. I got this one because I love the little dog. Because obviously, you know, being a dog lover, having a little dog stamp is always a good thing. But look at these cute little love hearts. You could certainly use those. Just put them on a page as they are, and, you know, write your to-dos next to them. It fits in the personal size a week on 2 page. I checked. It only just fits. You have to be careful how you put it on, but it fits. That would work at a push. If you use chalk-based stamps like the Versacolour chalk base or the Colour Box, then the stamp won't bleed through your Filofax paper. Now, of course, it doesn't have the lines if you're using blank paper, but clear stamps from, it says Memory Keepers. Oh, We Are Memory Keepers, Madame Royal set. They have this set, which again was not very much. I paid £1.65 for these in my local craft shop, which is usually more than I can get for it online. You probably get these on eBay for 99p as well. And it's got my notes, to-do list, top 10 list, the details, and then it's got one of these 5-line grids. So you can put your grids next to your stamps. That would fit you 2 to each line, and off you go. Another one of these Studio G sets I picked up is this one, which has got nice pretty little boxes for event and place, and then on this side it's got date and time. Again, this was 99p on eBay. I got mine, I've got about 6 different sets of these, and I got mine from a girl who combines postage, so it only cost me 70p for postage for, I think I got about 6 of these altogether. The other 4 are for other people, but I bought them all together. And like I say, it was 70p for one, or I think, no, it was 80p. 70p for one, or 80p for all of them together, which is a pretty good deal, I think. But these would be great for, well, anything really that's to do with planners or journals, for your Hobonichis, for your documented life, if you're doing documented life with Roman Marie, for your Filofax, for just ordinary journaling, your Midoris, everything. You could use these for everything. And if you coupled this, like the date, time, place and events, if you coupled it with one of these, this is just a thing my puppy chewed. This is just a bog standard office date stamp from Staples. I think I picked this up in for about £3.99. Couple it with one of these and you can put your date stamp in there, or if you've got small letter stamps you could put your information in, you could handwrite it in, you could use a font, whatever you want. I'm not being paid by Studio G to promote these, by the way. It just happens that Studio G have lots of these little things and they're very, very cheap. Like I say, they're £1 each if you go on eBay. And you can find, like there was one I saw like this that had little flowers There was one that had little snowflakes. There was one that had kind of little boxes, but they weren't boxes, they were kind of funny shapes. So, you know, shop around, see what you can find. You don't need to find the Studio L2E stamps in the UK. You can find other ones elsewhere. You just got to look around. You might even find something in your stash that you've already got. For instance, there isn't actually one on here. I've got different ones here. There wasn't one on here either, but I do use this one. I have this. These are all free ones that I got with either Get Stamping magazine or what's the name of the other one? Creative Stamping, I think. Oh yeah, Creative Stamping. They come free with the magazine and I've got a subscription. But you can pick these up if you see a set that you really like. You can pick them up in WH Smith's every other month. They're by Clear Impressions, so they're the acrylic ones that you stick onto a block, just like these little ones. So I've got this one, which is a border stamp that I use. There's one here it's got a little star, so you could do little stars. They quite often do 3 of something, so like 3 leaves here. You could use those as your top 3 priorities for the day. They've got, this one's got 3 snowflakes in different sizes, so they're actually one stamp, but you could cut them apart and, you know, big one for the top priority, middle one for the second priority, third one for the third priority or whatever. Again, little stars, and usually if the stars are on more than one set, you'll usually find that they're different sizes. So one of these is bigger than the other. This one is a little one, and this one's a big one. So again, if you don't necessarily have to have 5. Just because the Muji stamps and the L2E stamps have 5 boxes doesn't mean you have to have 5. You could just have one thing that you have to do that day. Use one single star. Or, you know, Christmas time, use a Christmas bauble. Use a leaf in the autumn. You can also get, like on these kind of stamps, you'll quite often find these kind of things, which are lovely as borders. Or just to add a splash of colour without getting in the way, because obviously that kind of stuff you can write over. This one has little flower blossoms. There's actually a big one that you could use several times, or there's 3 little ones you could cut apart and use. In fact, I'm going to keep those out because I will probably use those. I like those. That would be a nice little set. You could even have 4. You could have, this is the main priority, and then 3 other things that you have to do, which is the system that I use. I don't use 5 things that I must do today, which is a very common way of doing it in the States. I use what I call the English method, because it's always the way of time management that I've learned, which is 1 main thing that you must do, 3 things that you should do, and 5 things that you want to do. So that works really well for that system for me. This one's got little flowers. Again, so you could use these differently, or you could alternate them, or you could use all 5. You could intersperse them. They've got hearts and another flower there. You know, there's no need to specifically buy a certain set of stamps. Go and have a rummage round in the ones you've already got, because I guarantee if you've got sets of stamps, there will be something somewhere that you can use as a little ... you know, here's what I want to do. The lined stamps are really easy to get hold of, or if you're clever, what you can do is to get hold of one of the acrylic blocks. This is like an Uber one, but you can get small ones. Get a small acrylic block, get some thin elastic bands and put the elastic bands around. Glue them into place, and you've got your lines, however many you want, however wide you want them. Stamp them, job done. You don't need a lined stamp. You can do it with a block, which is really handy if you've got really big writing, because a lot of these are very small. This is perfect for me. It's just about the right size. I can actually fit 2 lines of writing in those lines. So it's exactly the right size for me. But if you've got bigger writing, those are way too small. So thin elastic bands, or even cord that you wrap around, although that's a bit more tricky because it's harder to get it straight. Different elastic bands is easy, you know, if one gets out of line you can just shifty it about. Stamp on there, sorted. Another thing you can do is look for this kind of thing, which is just a block. Divide that into 3 or 5 and you've got a nice little checker block or something like that that you can colour in the boxes, similar to the DIY fish inserts if you wanted to do something like that. So there you go, that's my creative quickie for the day. Go and look at your stamps and see what you've already got before you go out buying any more.